Alright, so welcome back. So today I want to do a list of my top 5 most wanted guest characters. Now I've said it time and time again, but guest characters normally don't make it or break it for me. I'm not like a gigantic fan of them, but I don't really dislike them either. They're kind of just there for me. So when people ask me, okay, which guest characters do you want to see appear? I normally just say what the popular opinion is. So like Homelander, Ghostface, Michael Myers, etc. So ever since I've been getting these questions, I decided to sit down and try and make an actual top 5 list that I actually would be excited for. And I wanted to make this list as realistic as possible. It is boring when you go into like all the licensing issues and all that kind of stuff. It kind of just takes away from the fun of it. But for the sake of these characters actually being possible, I did want to choose some realistic choices. So unfortunately, I can't say, yeah, I want Goku and Ryan Gosling as my guest characters, because it's probably not going to happen. Of course, unless we get that Barbie combat pack, but we will have to see. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and begin. So to begin, we have John Wick. Now this one is pretty self-explanatory. He is one of the most popular modern day action movie franchise main characters in like the last decade. I forget when John Wick 1 released, but the films are extremely popular. He is an extremely popular character, and a very cool one at that. So I do feel that his potential in Mortal Kombat is pretty much endless. He has so many cool stunts in the movies, there's so much that he does that is very unique, and would work perfectly in a combat system like a NetherRealm game. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they wanted to get Neo for Injustice, so this would finally be their chance to get Keanu in a NetherRealm game. Being able to choose Keanu Reeves to play as in Mortal Kombat, like that's just unreal, it really is. But yeah, I don't even think I need to get too in depth with it. I think you guys understand the hype for this character. My first choice is John Wick. Let's continue. Okay, and for my second pick, we have Jago. If I had to choose one out of my entire list, it would definitely be him. He is the character that I want to see. Killer Instinct is so iconic, and even though I personally haven't really played the series all that much outside of the Xbox One release, the franchise is something I grew up seeing so many people play, and was so important to people around my space that I grew connected to characters, especially Jago, without even ever actually playing the game. And over the years, just seeing how iconic Jago is and everything that he has around him, he definitely does reflect something you would see in Mortal Kombat. And at the time when Killer Instinct first happened, that was definitely something that a lot of people drew connection to. They're like, okay, so this game has a little bit of Mortal Kombat, a little bit of this and that, and Jago definitely resembled Mortal Kombat at that time. And I just think that he would be such a cool character to see, and he has so much potential. I'll have some gameplay from the modern KI on screen. You can see that he would just work so wonderfully in Mortal Kombat, and it would be so cool to see how they end up like adapting his moves, because the combos are going to be significantly different in a NetherRealm game opposed to a game in the style of KI. I would just be over the moon for this character. I do think he has so much potential in this setting, and he has so much he can do. Like, he would just be such a fun character. So yeah, my second pick is definitely Jago from Killer Instinct. Okay, so third on my list is none other than Sadako. The horror icons are so popular as picks for Mortal Kombat, and I think Sadako is definitely somebody who is worthy of being a guest character, and if anything is one that I would want the most out of the horror icons. Don't get me wrong, I think that so many horror characters are very cool, like Ghostface would be insane to see, Michael Myers, etc. But Sadako would be so unique, and I think like the entire lore around the Onryo and Japanese mythology gives them so much leeway for what they can do with this character and how they can adapt her moveset. And we've also seen the take of Sadako in Dead by Daylight, and with that gameplay alone, which would be drastically different from an NRS game, it just gives me a lot of hype and a lot of hope to see a character like this be established and be adapted to fit an NRS fighting game. And I think it would be a really fresh take. And I think Sadako in general, the Ring movies, all of that is something I am a fan of. I think they're really good. The mystery around them, the presentation of the character, I think that would be a really good choice for MK1. I don't know how popular this opinion is. I don't think I've ever heard anyone else say it, but maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see Sadako as well. But yeah, she is definitely a good choice for me. I think she has so much potential, especially in fatalities and everything. Like, the Onryo is the spirit of vengeance, like the personification of vengeance. And I think that like that's such a cool idea, and they can really play upon that. And this character, I definitely want to see them. I really do. Okay, so my next pick is going to be kind of like a double pick. It could be anything from this franchise, and that is going to be a Stranger Things character. So my initial picks, of course, would be something like the Demogorgon or even Vecna. And honestly, we've seen something kind of similar to this, albeit I don't really know how legal stuff works. But Netflix, of course, owns Stranger Things, and WB publishes Mortal Kombat. In a similar instance to this, we've seen where WB publishes The Witcher, and they were able to get stuff from the Netflix Witcher series, but it's probably a much different scenario there, considering the connections from CDPR and Netflix. So it is probably like very different, but I do want to just put that out there, since I do think it is still within reach. And these characters can be cool in Mortal Kombat. Characters like the Demogorgon, although very simple I guess on like the surface level, can have a lot done with them, and I think that NetherRealm of all studios is a great one when it comes to fleshing out what a character can do, even if they have very little that they actually do to work with from the source material. So yeah, the Demogorgon would be cool, but I think Vecna would be even bigger of a choice, not only because of their relevance recently, but because of how big of a character that is within Stranger Things. And that character has so many unique abilities that I think NetherRealm could really capture and make a character that can be similar to maybe Kenshi, in the sense that the character can maybe have a lot going on, it can be very complicated, but will have a big payoff if you try and learn the character. And especially with the way that MK1 is shaping up, with things like
the gimmick
Kenshi has or the gimmick that Johnny Cage has. These guest characters have so much potential because of stuff like that. So I think one of these choices can happen, not only because of their popularity, but because of their like aesthetic, their dark vibe and stuff. So yeah, Demogorgon, Vecna, maybe anything else from Stranger Things maybe can happen, but I don't really know what else they'd want to do, but it can happen. It can happen. Okay, so my final pick is a character that I have mentioned before, granted in a joking way, because I know a lot of people won't like this choice and think it's kind of corny, which, you know, to each their own, but I do think that this character has a lot of potential. I can't even lie, I think this character would be very cool to see, and that is Springtrap. I know like 5 people just clicked off the video, but I think that the animatronics in FNAF and their grittiness, that vibe, I think it does fit Mortal Kombat. I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks this, and I think that out of all the choices for the franchise, they would want to go with Springtrap, since they're probably the most, like, I guess, deadly, most scary within the lore, you know, William Afton and everything within that. I think that that character would be a very good rep from the franchise, and people who are fans would see that and be like, oh, that makes sense, that's a good choice for a guest character from the series to be represented in another medium. And especially with the FNAF movie coming up very soon in October, this could be a good move. I think that it could be a form of like cross promotion in a way, especially now that we know that Springtrap is going to be in the FNAF movie. And I know if you're not a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, maybe this whole thing sounds like nonsense to you, which is completely okay. I completely understand, but just go ahead and look up Springtrap, watch some videos or something if you've never seen them before, and I don't know, I do think that Springtrap in Mortal Kombat could work. Even if they wanted to bring another animatronic, which I don't think anyone would really top Springtrap in terms of potential for this game, it still is up in the air, right? If they were going to choose FNAF as a franchise that they wanted to represent in the guest characters, I guess there is a lot of choices they can choose from, but we have to like think about who is popular, who's gonna sell, all of that kind of stuff. I don't know, I think that WB can do it. I think that with the movie coming out, with the years that the game has under its belt, I think that FNAF would be a good choice. I don't know, that's just me. Maybe this isn't a very popular opinion, and I'll hold that, I'll take that, but for me personally, I think that this would be a character that I would love to play as in this game. Okay, and with that said, that is my top 5 characters that I would like to see in Mortal Kombat 1. I know I'm kind of all over the place with this one. My decisions aren't very in line with each other, but again, I did want to try and be kind of realistic, and then also try and choose characters that I think can be valuable representations in the franchise. I think people can get behind me with most of these, maybe not Springtrap, or Jago too. I think Jago is kind of an anomaly in this list. Again, I do think that Jago is the choice I want to see the most. And yeah, with that said, let me know your guys' thoughts, and down below drop your top 5 guest characters that you would like to see in Mortal Kombat 1. I appreciate you all. Thank you for watching to the end. Make sure to drop your opinions and also your top 5 guest characters. And ladies, gentlemen, and MB beauties, make sure you all stay safe, stay hydrated, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.